How Mushrooms Changed My Mind. Part 1. AJ Ferreira. When someone says that they eat mushrooms, most people assume that either the person eating mushrooms has a very healthy and earthy diet, or that the person must be insane for willingly tripping out of their mind on a drug. But as a person who has diagnosed complex post-traumatic stress disorder, I can say that my experience with both regular edible mushrooms and psychedelic mushrooms has been extremely positive and beneficial for overcoming the sometimes debilitating symptoms of anxiety, depression, and memory loss that comes with CPTSD. In 2022, I was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder at the Institute of Living under Hartford Hospital in CT. Although I am not a veteran of war, there have been many events in my life that, sadly, impacted me enough to receive this diagnosis. After having been given the incorrect diagnosis at age 17 and also having certain psychiatric medications, lithium and Vraylar for examples, given to me at high doses for a very long time, I realized that those meds were not helpful because I had been suffering with CPTSD and not bipolar disorder. Also, the medications I was prescribed only seemed to have deteriorated the neuroplasticity in my brain to a certain extent, which was causing me to experience more and more symptoms of anxiety and depression, which unfortunately presented as bipolar at the time, before I had psychiatric testing done for reevaluation to find out my correct diagnosis. After making these realizations, I made the decision to stop my medications completely, which I did. And after being off of psychiatric medications for only 1 month, I started feeling better. I had taken lithium and Vraylar at high doses for a long time, and if I had truly been bipolar, coming off of these meds would have been a nightmare. But for me, it was like a relief, as if I was finally coming up for air after having been under the water. I began doing my own research on mushrooms as far back as 2018, both regular edible mushrooms that can be found in the grocery store and psychedelic mushrooms. In 2023, I began incorporating certain edible mushrooms in my diet, such as lion's mane, shiitake, oyster mushrooms, turkey tail, king trumpet, reishi, lobster mushrooms, cordyceps, morel mushrooms, and others. I could feel myself becoming physically and mentally healthier while incorporating these in my diet. It felt as though exercise became easier, like I had more endurance, and that I was able to think much clearer than I had been able to in the years prior while taking psychiatric medications. Different mushrooms have different health benefits, and what I positively experienced coincided with what I had studied about the health benefits of each specific mushroom. In 2023, I also began my own trials on myself with microdosing psilocybin mushrooms, which are psychedelic, and there is much research published that is easy to find about psilocybin mushrooms being helpful for people with PTSD. Naturally, as a person diagnosed with complex PTSD, I decided to try psilocybin mushrooms as a way to heal. I began ingesting very small amounts. I would take the same small dose every day as if it were a prescription. I did this every day for 3 weeks, and the 4th week, I did not take any. I then waited another 3 weeks without taking any psilocybin mushrooms. I already began feeling a shift in my mentality. I continued taking the small doses in this cycle, every day for 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks without taking any. I did this for about 6 months, and I would already feel a significant drop in my levels of depression and anxiety that are attributes of my CPTSD. My anxiety level went down from a day-to-day average of around 8 out of 10 to about 3 out of 10. My depression levels dropped about the same rate. Listen to Part 2 for complete story. AJ Ferreira.